I fall asleep reading the Bible every single night.
Good for you.
Let's see.
Solid.
Any favorite verses?
No, I'm actually new to it. I'm still learning. I'm in the Old Testament right now.
Oh, that's the Jewish part. Yeah, don't worry, it gets better.
You want to get
the fun part.
Testament, the New Testament.
Don't tell him that guy dies.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Fuck, I have no idea.
There's a huge amount of Exodus that you're going to be like, all right, skip. Because there's a lot of so-and-so begat.
How can you make it through
begat,
Exodus and feel like God's the good guy anymore? When he hardens Pharaoh's heart, it's like a villain. The fact that God, so for the uninitiated here, the made-up idea, sorry, historians, that the pyramids are like built by Jewish slaves that were held by Egyptians, and then God came with his and helped Moses with the plagues out to force the Pharaoh to, like Charlton Heston said, let my people go. Well, if that happened, even the way it happened in the Bible is after several really awful plagues. I don't know, frogs are raining from the sky.
Locusts.
I think the Nile turned to blood. There's locusts and stuff.
You know,
the Pharaoh is like, all right, you know what? Moses was not full of shit at all. We prayed to Ra all day, nothing. And here come the frogs again. You know, he's made up his mind. And God goes, oh, did you change your mind? Did you? Too bad, because these plagues come in a set, and I got a few more coming. So I'll harden your heart, change your mind, basically like influence you in such a way that you are not even the bad guy anymore. I am. That's what God does. Pharaoh was going to let the Jews go, and God was like, no, don't let them go yet. I'm not done with you.
Dude,
I'm here to prove a point.
You got to get to that New Testament. When Jesus shows up, it all turns around.
The Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah, Sermon on the Mount. The Beatitudes, Matthew 5. It's way better. You know,
I don't know why the Old Testament is even included in the Bible. Like
the New Testament, if you're a Christian, the New Testament is infinitely more important.
Excuse me, the Old Testament is what I meant to say.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, he's like the 2.0. He put the cherry on top.
Christianity would be a much better religion if you had Genesis, and then you started the New Testament.
Yeah, Genesis, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, just to skip all that stuff and go
what
right
about the
to
Apocrypha?
The Apocrypha?
Yeah.
All the books like the Gospel of Thomas that at some point, like the Council of Nicaea.
Did Mary Magdalene really have one? Like, is that a thing? I've always heard that there was a book of Mary.
I've heard that. I think it should be for the boys.
And by the way, Woody, what we're getting at here is that when they assembled the Bible, it wasn't like, oh yeah, here are all the pieces. Like, you open a puzzle box and you got the right number of pieces, hopefully. No, they were like, oh, we got to go through all of these biblical-ish books that were written by the biblical historians. Let's pick and choose which ones work for us. What do you think, John? And they horse traded like our Senate does. Well, I really hate prostitutes. Well, let's get this in Leviticus. It is. Oh, I want Leviticus in there too, sir. And then, someone clearly spoke up about the slavery parts.
I was raised in a household that spent more time talking about sex than God. So when he said the Apocrypha, I was like, is this a joke? Because I was about to be like, what about the Silmarillion? Like,
Same thing.
I didn't know.
You could also
know about what do you guys know about Hermeticism? You ever heard of that?
No,
I'm not familiar with.
Is that when you're born with both male and female body parts?
That's hermaphrodite.
No. The Hermeticism's been like blowing up. I've been seeing TikToks of people. It's an ancient thought process, or I guess it's a religion. I'm not sure. The Egyptian god Thoth and Greek god Hermes fucked and made a guy called Hermes Trismegistus. And then they made this thing called Hermeticism. Have you ever heard of as above, so below?
Yep.
Yeah.
The whole seven. What about the Kybalion? It's like all these. A lot of the principles of like the hand of the golden sun, the Knights Templars, the Illuminati, like all these people. It's like you have to find hidden knowledge. That's Hermeticism kind of like. And a bunch of these kids on TikTok are talking about the emerald tablets, holding the secret to life in the universe. They're like, it's the power of manifestation. Look at this stuff, this ancient book. And it's like they're discovered in like the 1920s and they're not even real. It's alchemy.
Yeah.
A dude
It's
in the
crystal
1600s.
skull-
Yeah,
Crystal skull
exactly.
shit.
So
Yes.
this is like kind of almost Mormon adjacent in their finding of it. Like they took
It's-
Thoth and Hermes and then fused them, which frankly, neither Thoth nor Hermes are like the heavy hitters of their religion.
Right. So the idea is it is old, right? And it's like it's kind of like the precipitation of alchemy. These guys, Hermes Trismegistus is like the father of alchemy, in some sense. And like it's not that it's new in terms of Mormonism new. Like it is very, very, very old. But it's like more so a part of philosophy. Like I don't know if you guys do a lot of reading and stuff, but when you read, I try to read about a lot about ethics like a couple of years ago and just try to read a bunch. I read I started with Hermes, like as old as possible, the Corpus Hermeticum, and then I went to like a bunch of the Greek guys, and then the Spanish guys, Espinoza, and then Jesus, obviously, the Sermon on the Mount, Lily in the Fields, Soren Kierkegaard, like all these different little ethical things. And that's how I learned about that Hermeticism, but it's like this bigger, weird religion that's based in alchemy and mysticism and Gnosticism. And like there's a tie-in, like a Gnostic Christianity.
How many people are practicing it though? Like I hear about, I bet there's more people doing Santeria, right?
Probably
I'm not. I mean, it's not really something I don't really know how you would practice it, to be honest. Maybe people in like the Illuminati would be more so considered to practice that.
What is the moral belief system, I guess, of that sub-religion?
Grove of Owls thing.
Religion?
It's pretty straightforward. It's good. It's like it's very ethical. It's like the basis of it is that every single person is a god themselves. I think I can't really remember, but it's like every single person is a god themselves, and they will eventually realize that, and that's how they achieve nirvana. Like you realize you can create your own, you can manifest your own reality, and that could be interpreted as just like you can kind of you perceive things in a way that you can control. So like even if you have a negative situation, you control the way that you react.
Gnosticism or narcissism?
Narcissism. yeah. Dude, it's about the Illuminati talks a lot about it though. The Illuminati. Have you guys ever been invited to the Illuminati?
No, not yet.
No, I'm irrelevant.
Dude, I got this in the mail. This thing in the mail here.
Oh, that's official.
I don't believe it's legit at all, but it was, if you look up Illuminati entrance letter, it doesn't show up. This doesn't, like if you do like a gag gift, like Illuminati gag gift, and someone put it in my mailbox with like calligraphy on the front of the thing. It was my address in calligraphy with my full name, and there was no return address. And like my house is like this. I used to live there. I don't live there anymore, but it was very weird. It was very, very, very strange. And I still haven't figured out who's pranking me. But if I sign it, maybe I can bring you guys with me.
What does it say? Like it's a full-on invitation?
Upon this eternal oath, I freely pledge to dedicate my mind to the discovery of knowledge, to dedicate my soul to the pursuit of enlightenment, to dedicate my efforts to the progress of abundance, to dedicate my existence to bringing all people in all places into unification.
Oh, I don't know about that last one. You had me there till the end.
That was a little commie.
Yeah, little globalists. And to dedicate my life and days upon this planet to the protection and advancement of the human species on this day of. But yeah, my girlfriend wouldn't let me sign it.
That's fun. I hope you make it, dude. If you get in, can you invite us to Bohemian Grove?
I'll bring you guys. I'll bring you guys. Yeah, me and Josh Peck.
What is the Nixon quote on? You know what Bohemian Grove is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like where all the elites and like industry titans and the really powerful people get
Alex
together.
Jones went
back as well.
Alex Jones crashed it. Nixon got invited, and he had a quote about it, and he said it was the most. What did he say? It's the most goddamn F slur thing I've ever seen. They're like, what do you think about Bohemian Grove? It's like, it's the most goddamn F slur thing you've ever seen. And he did that.
Yeah,
Woody's struggling with F slur. I love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how it fixed grammatically.
Baggy.
Oh,
we're gonna get demonetized.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I stretched it out.
you get banned off YouTube.
Damn it!
I legit thought he said baggy.
Like
Baggy.
You can say it like that.
No, you have to say it with levity. Anyway,
I did.
yeah, I don't think Nixon was probably wrong. I think it was probably
I'm not a crook. I think he's just misunderstood Nixon.
President.
Was he
If
in a
that's the most
fraternity?
faggy thing he's been, there's better parties than Bohemian whatever.
I don't know. Maybe
What was it?
in the 70s.
See if Nixon was in a fraternity. Like because I think of Bohemian Grove and like
Grove.
the Skull and Bones and all that stuff is partially there's going to be some sort of weird like spanking and jerking off in a coffin type stuff going
Sacrificing to Moloch.
Yeah,
on. Yeah, you might sacrifice to Moloch. You
part of
know, you might have to perform some sex act. You know, on a other participant, like in that movie. Oh, I just watched the movie. It was like that. It was about Bohemian Grove. That stuff's really creepy. Because there are secret societies, like they aren't just nonsense. What we're talking about, it's we know that the Bushes were both in the Skull and Bones thing, and we know that part of their ritual is jerking it in a coffin while everybody waits outside. It's so weird.
I don't like that. But Zach, with his deep dive of knowledge, got the full Nixon quote, and it is Nixon. You know what happened to the Romans? The last 6 Roman emperors were fags. Let's look at the strong societies. The Russians, goddamn, they rooted them out.
Oh, wow.
It's not just the ratty part of the town. No, the upper class in San Francisco's that way. The Bohemian Grove, which I attend from time to time, is the most faggy goddamn thing you could ever imagine. With that San Francisco crowd, I can't shake hands with anyone from San Francisco.
That's crazy.
Man, what a fun guy.
He's not
a goofy bastard.
No, he's not.
He's a man of his time. When was he born? 1910 would be my call. 1910 would be my call on when Nixon was born.
I don't know like him, but I like him.
When people judge those old dudes that were born in other centuries, it's like, come on, give him a little leeway here.
Yeah, I was born in the 90s. Give me a break.
There you go. We're
all born in another century, another time.
When were you born, Taylor?
91.
Okay, I think we had this conversation last time, but I forget.
Yeah, I'm 33. 33. Getting old.
You ever get spanked at a fraternity, Taylor? Anything like that?
No, I didn't.
You get left out, or
were you a frat? Were you in a frat?
No. A lot of my buddies were in frats, and so I would still hang out with that crowd. But no, I never got spanked or got to spank.
Can I say I don't want to be part of an organization that involves man-on-man spanking at the beginning that's ritualistic and public. I just don't want to be part of your group.
I don't think it's that. I looked into fraternity hazing rituals on the internet. I was like, there's no more secrets. I've always wanted to know what those frats really do. Let's look into it. And it wasn't as gay or cool as I thought it was. It was all like, I don't know. For example, they'd say, Kyle, today, when asked, you need to present 27 cents exact change. If you don't, then you have to do push-ups. It was no jerking off on a pizza.
That's a lame
last
fraternity.
guy eats it.
I bet their house
like
sucks.
Yeah. No, Woody is right. Because it was funny the dichotomy in my friends who were in frats. Because some of them I'd be like, so what do you guys have to do for your fucking hell week? Like the last week of getting hazed. And some of them would be like, I can't tell you. It's super secret. And the other ones would be like, we basically have to carry around a plastic bag with a lighter, joint rolls, an eighth of weed, and 10 cigarettes at all times. So a brother comes up and asks for something, we can give it to him. And if we don't, they yell at us. Oh, and a couple nights they force us to get so drunk it's uncomfortable, and then we still have to get up and get all dressed up in our Sunday best the next morning at 5 a.m. and go to some song and dance before class.
And also the drinking was only semi-mandatory. If you didn't feel well or it just wasn't your vibe, they didn't.
Yeah, this is lame.
It's not like the 80s. My dad.
Now I don't want to be in the frat because they're pussies.
My dad was in a frat.
You can't whoop a kid. I expected more spanking. I envisioned jock straps. I envisioned some laughing. Okay.
I expected some kidnapping, putting in the trunk, and then transported, and they have to find their way back.
Fake blood.
I knew some people who went to Radford, which is a school in Virginia. And there was I don't know if it was true, but they used scopolamine, which is the drug that they use in South America. I think it's a date rape drug technically, but it's the one where it makes you influenceable, to where it's suggestible. So you'll do stuff. for people, and you can synthesize it. And they synthesized it and then they like used it on each other.
You mean when you say they
down
could
in Radford.
synthesize it, like you could make it in your own kitchen?
I don't know exactly, but I know someone who has synthesized scopolamine. I believe that's a crime.
Oh.
I imagine it would be.
Maybe. You never know.
I don't know.
To your point about the other frat hazing, my dad told me, because my dad, he was born in early 60s. And so it was a different time when he was going
Thank God
through.
he's older than me.
Yeah, he's older than me. That would have been a real mistake if my dad was your age.
18.
16, yeah, 18. And he was saying that something he had to do when he was getting hazed for his fraternity is they made him wear, and everyone in the pledge class wear burlap underwear for a week straight, and then like stripped them down into nothing but their burlap underwear, drove them blindfolded into like a cornfield somewhere, it's the Midwest, and then just left them in a cornfield and like made these men in burlap underwear have to wander back to campus. And I was like, it may be the type 3 fun Woody said before, but like
Type 2.
At the time I'd be like, fuck these guys. These pieces of shit.
Fuck
my
these
dick
guys.
is all itchy. My ass doesn't feel
But I
good.
think you'd be a little more bonded with your brothers, right? Like it's the kind of
Yeah.
experience that puts you together. I don't hate that.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't want to
not
do
that
it as a
bad.
grown up, but as a college kid.
There was a guy when I was in school, and this wasn't technically hazing, but so they were a couple of years older than me. That must have been because I was a freshman, and my dorm was right next to Sigma Chi, that fraternity, and they got kicked off campus that year because a brother in their front yard in full view of like a whole party like hit one of the pledges in the face with a shovel, and he had to go to the hospital and like lost a bunch of teeth and had a broken nose, and that didn't seem like hazing. That seemed like assault to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that funny.
No, it's
You
really
say
not.
tomato, I say tomato.
There's no joke there. There's no haha. Let's all have a good time with silly underwear.
You can
What'd
make
you go to college
scopolamine
for,
very
Tyler?
easily, by the way.
You can make scopolamine easily?
It's a flour, and you extract it using water and sort of pressing it and making maybe I think you mentioned a pumice stone.
Oh, wow,
maybe as
easy.
well. Yeah.
Okay.
Known as devil's breath. You know it's good.
You could probably order that flour offline. I know that with like DMT, they just order that bark from Europe
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
make
you
it in
can
their
buy
kitchen,
mushroom spores too, but it takes more talent to grow than I have, hypothetically.
hypothetically.
Yeah. Theoretically, you could just get them online and grow them in a shoebox in your closet, like a friend of
Yeah.
mine did successfully.
Well, some people just get
Your friend must
mold
be a
and you
smart
can't eat it.
He said he put it in a wet dirt shoebox. And
Your
then
friend's a
before he
fun guy. Get it?
Oh,
Yo, shit.